Hear ye, gather round, fellow scions. Jael here for the latest news from the 9 realms of Godforge. Today I bring tales from my beta quest. My journey carried me through stunning landscapes, mighty heroes, and more than a few treacherous battles. There was so much to love about this world: the lore, the heroes themselves, and my guide Morrigan, who first set me upon this adventure. There was also times I found myself lost and overwhelmed, and even a lore master with 3 libraries and a crystal ball might have struggled to keep up. So gather round and hear my tale as I share the good, the frustrating, and why I kept logging on. My journey began with choosing the hero who would stand beside me in the battle. 3 powerful warriors stood ready to answer the call, but for me the choice was easy: Ramses. He had fought along beside me through the alpha tests, and there was never really any question that he would be joining me once again. I must confess, though, it was the story that truly drew me in. While I haven't read every piece of lore just yet, the one thing that immediately stood out to me: each hero played a role in the shattering, the event that brought the 9 realms together. I found that incredibly compelling because these heroes weren't simply thrown together because they looked cool. They were brought together by a shared history, a world-shaping event that connected them all. And honestly, that is the idea that made me want to learn more. As far as gameplay goes, the ultimates quickly became my favorite mechanic. At first I thought, cool, a big flashy attack. Then I realized heroes can use their ultimate without losing their turn. That's when things got dangerous. What started as a random button pressing slowly turned into actual strategy. With a little planning, I could chain abilities together, control the battlefield, and sometimes defeat an entire enemy team before they got a chance to hit back. Now, did every battle go that smoothly? Absolutely not. But when the plan worked, it felt amazing. Following the alpha, I was granted one final trial. A special quest allowed me to battle for the right to bring a single champion with me into the beta. This proved to be one of my most difficult choices. Before I could choose a new champion, I had to release one who had faithfully fought by my side. An unnerving task, to be sure. Yet in the end, my decision did not disappoint. Raygen answered the call. As our journey continued and new warriors joined the company, I was pleasantly surprised to find an old friend waiting among the ranks. Dracula appeared not once, but twice. However, it was the arrival of Heimdall that truly changed the tide. From that moment forward, our victories felt less like fortunate accidents and more like destiny. Though these champions proved mighty, some of my most loyal companions were heroes others might overlook simply because they were rare. One stood firm when the battle line faltered, another returned fallen allies, and others answered the call to arms without hesitation, arriving time and time again, victories whence victory seemed all but lost. Together they carried me through beta, and more than once, what looked like certain defeat into a hard-earned victory. The biggest challenge I faced during beta was understanding all of the progression systems. At first, improving my heroes seemed straightforward. However, as I dug deeper, I found myself learning about weapons, imprints, armor sets, and attunement, followed by dungeons that rewarded different materials. Before long, every improvement seemed to open a door to 3 more systems I needed to understand. I found myself wondering, which weapon should this champion use? Whose imprint should I place on it? Which armor set works best? Is this dungeon giving me the materials I actually need? This is where the feeling of overwhelm began to creep in. Not because the systems were bad, but because there was so much to learn, and I wasn't always sure where to begin or where to focus next. I would love to see some of these systems introduced more gradually, or explained more cleanly so new players can appreciate the depth of the game without feeling lost. Second area was progression pacing. There were times I felt limited by gold, energy, or upgrade materials, and progression slowed considerably. While I understand that long term progression is important in games like this, I would love to see a smoother experience during the early stages of the game so players can experiment more freely before resource management becomes a major concern. The most powerful thing about watching Godforge over the years has been seeing the team's desire to create the best possible player experience. I can only imagine the conversations that must have taken place. A room full of experienced players asking, what would we want in a hero collector? And then setting out to build exactly that. In many ways, that's what makes Godforge special. Fateless hasn't simply brought together champions from realms, they've challenged many of the assumptions that have become common in this genre. As someone who has played hero collectors for years, I can genuinely see a future where both spenders and free to play players can enjoy the game without feeling pressured to keep up. At the same time, I think that ambition comes with a challenge. When you gather every great idea into one place, there's always the temptation to add just one more feature, one more system, one more layer of depth. The danger isn't that the game lacks content, it's that new players are introduced with so much so quickly that they struggle to understand it all. For me, the biggest opportunity Godforge has moving forward is not less depth, but a smoother path that allows players to discover the depth at one step at a time. And thus concludes my report from the Nine Realms. Though the path ahead remains uncertain, I believe there is something special taking shape within Godforge. The heroes are memorable, the world is intriguing, and the story leaves me wanting to learn more. The journey is far from over, and I look forward to seeing where these roads may lead. Until our paths cross again, fellow scions, this humble herald takes her leave.